This presentation is provided by Barking and Dagenham Council to help you through the important process of moving your child from a Year 6 place at a primary or junior school to a Year 7 place at a secondary phase school. Our aim is to give you a clearer understanding of the school admissions process. This move is not automatic. You must apply for a place at the schools you would like your child to go to. If your child has an Education, Health and Care Plan, EHCP, you must not apply for a school place online. The EHCP team will be in contact with you, and together you will discuss schools that can meet your child's individual needs. Children with an EHCP are given places at schools by the EHC team before all other children. Children on SEND support are not considered as EHCP pupils, and as such do not gain priority under the admissions arrangements. This includes pupils currently going through the EHCP process. An individual healthcare plan is not the same as an EHCP. If you are unsure your child has an EHCP, please speak with your child's current school or our EHCP team. All other children should follow the steps in this presentation. When moving to a secondary phase school, it is important that you read the information provided by the local authority you and your child live in. Within Barking and Dagenham, the name of that document is called Moving to Secondary School, which is an e-booklet that is available on our website from the 1st of September. The booklet will give you all the information you need about the admissions process along with the admission criteria for each of the schools in the borough. It provides you with the key dates of what is happening and what you need to do, as well as statistics from last year's admissions process, letting you know the chances of you getting a place at one of our schools. It is important you understand the admissions process as it forms part of the terms and conditions you agree to when you make an application with us. Throughout the whole of this presentation, when we talk about you, the parent or carer, we are talking about the person with parental responsibility for the child. Collect information to help you decide which schools to list on your application form. View or attend the open events many schools will hold. This year many events will be held virtually, so please look at the school's website for more details. Know the admission criteria for each of the schools you are interested in. The admission criteria are the rules that will decide the order in which places are offered. The admission criteria for Barking and Dagenham community schools are 1. Children who are or were in the care of a local authority, and 2. Distance in kilometres. We therefore measure the distance from the child's home to each school on the application form. Those closest to the school will be at the top of the list, and those furthest away towards the end of the list. Each local authority will publish the admission criteria for each of their schools in their admissions booklet. There are many different types of school who select pupils for different reasons. For example, faith attendance or assessments. Please make sure you find out this information for the schools you would like. Find out if your preferred school needs you to fill in any extra forms. These are called Supplementary Information Forms, SIFs, and we talk a little more about these in the presentation. You can find out more about a school by reading their Ofsted reports, which is available at www.ofsted.gov.uk. Consider how your child will travel to and from school. Travel costs to and from school. We will only pay for your child's bus pass for travelling to and from school if Transport for London or London councils no longer provide free travel for children, and we give your child a place at a school that you have not listed as a preference, which is more than 3 miles from your home. Study the statistical information within a local authority's e-booklet. These statistics will tell you how applications were processed and offered last year. The planned admission number, called PAN, tells you the total number of Year 7 places available at each school. The data also lists how many applications were received for each school last year, which in turn will tell you if that school is oversubscribed. This means it received more applications than it has places. When that happens, schools use the admission criteria to decide who is offered a place. The statistics also show you how those places were offered. For example, with our community schools, you will see the total applications each school received, the total places available at each school, the PAN, the number of places given to children with an EHC plan, the number of places given to children who are or were in the care of a local authority, the number of places given to children under the distance category. It also gives the measurement from home to school given to the child who got the last place under the distance category, the last distance. The data also lists the number of appeals we received for each school and the total number of people who won their appeal. We provide this data for all our schools for the past 5 years on our website. By collecting this information, you get an idea of whether or not your child has a high or low chance of getting a place at your preferred school. You can then use this information to order schools accordingly on your application. What you need to do. You must make the application to the local authority you live in and where you pay your council tax. This is your home local authority. All London councils and surrounding counties use the same e-admissions website for these applications. On National Offer Day, your home local authority will give you the results. List up to 6 schools on your application. You must list the schools in the order that you would prefer and include your local school. Number 1 is the school you want the most, and number 6 is the school you least prefer. Feel confident giving us your true order, as we do not let schools know which other schools you have applied for or how you rank them unless you decide to appeal for that school at the appeal stage next year. You can list schools inside and outside the borough. We will pass on your request for schools in other council areas and they will let us know if they can offer your child a place. Where possible, we will offer the highest rank preference you qualified for, whether that is in or outside the borough. We therefore suggest that the first 3 schools are your dream schools and the last 3 schools are realistic ones and include your local school, even if it is your last preference. If you do not list your local school, it may be full with pupils who did list it on their form. That means your child would have to travel further to a school in the borough with a space if we could not offer you any of your preferences. You cannot list independent/private, fee-paying schools on the application. Check if any of the schools you are applying for need you to fill in extra forms or documents, together with your online application form. This is called a Supplementary Information Form, SIF. If they do, you must return the SIF direct to the school by their deadline. Parents and carers of Year 6 pupils must apply online at www.eadmissions.org.uk by midnight, the 31st of October. To apply online is simple and secure, and the website will give you full information about how to make your application. Once you've applied, you will receive an email to confirm all the preferences you have listed on your application. You may change, edit and resubmit that application as many times as you would like before the deadline. All local authorities in London have worked together to make it possible for parents to apply online for a school place in London and its surrounding counties. This service is available through the e-admissions website. The website has a step-by-step guide to show you how to register and apply. To create an online account, you need an email address which you use often. Any information we send you will be sent to that same email address you use here. If possible, do not use your work email address, as the firewalls in large companies often block emails from the online system, as it is thought to be spam or junk. Also, if you leave your employment between applying and offer day, you won't receive your results. Your online application is only valid when you press the Submit button at the end of the Submit Your Application page. You will then be issued with an application reference number, an ARN. The e-admissions team will then send you a confirmation email which will include all of the details of the application you have just made, along with your ARN. In the case of twins, triplets and so on, make sure you have a different ARN for each child. You may need to provide extra documents to local authorities. These documents may be proof that you are the child's guardian, proof of you and your child's address, or proof that your child is or was in the care of a local authority. Some schools or local authorities also ask you to fill in extra forms, like Supplementary Information Forms, SIF. Make sure you send these filled in forms back directly to the relevant school/local authority directly and not to us, We will not pass on your document on your behalf. Sometimes the closing date for returning the SIF may be different from the closing date for applications, so please check with the school or local authority directly if you are not sure. In order to process applications correctly, we must confirm that distances are measured from the child's normal home address. A child's home address is where the child normally lives with the parent or carer applying for them. That address therefore cannot include any business, relatives or childminder's address. Please use the address where the child lives or lives with one of the two parents for the majority of the time. If these arrangements are different for your child, we will need to see proof of those arrangements with your application. Where the child spends an equal time between their parents, it will be up to the parents to agree which address to use. Where a child spends their time equally between their parents and they cannot agree on who should make the application, we will accept an application from the parent who is registered for child benefit and proof will be required. We need to see 3 different documents if you need to show us proof of address. See our e-booklet for the documents we need to see. It is fraud to use any other address for processing your child's application. The school's admissions team will investigate where we suspect that a fraudulent address is being used to gain a school place. You can report if you have suspicions about any fraud applications on our website at the following address. Go to www.lbbd.gov.uk/report-other-types-of-fraud. When you submit an application, you agree to the school admissions team to access information in line with the GDPR 2018 Act. To process your request means we will share information with relevant teams. For full details, see our privacy notice on our website at www.lbbd.gov.uk/general-privacy-notice. If we discover that we have offered your child's place based on false, inaccurate or misleading information, we will withdraw the place and may take legal action. The results of your application will be available after 7 p.m. on National Offer Day, the 1st of March. You must accept a place if it is a school outside the borough or if it is one of our all-through schools. If you do not, we will withdraw that place and you will be given a borough school with a space. Our aim is to give you the highest preference on your form. If you do not get your first preference, we will automatically put your child on an interest list for Barking and Dagenham schools listed higher than the school you are offered. For example, if we offer your third preference school, you will be added to the interest list for preferences 1 and 2. The interest list is updated on a weekly basis, and your child will move up or down the interest list according to the criteria and other children joining or leaving that list. We will automatically let you know if a place becomes available for your child. You will need to phone our call centre from the 2nd of March for your child's interest list position number. You have a right to appeal to an independent appeal panel if your child is not offered a place at the schools on your application form which are listed as a higher preference than the one we have offered you. For example, you can appeal for preference 1 and 2 if we have offered you preference 3. Submit your appeals online from the 2nd of March. You must appeal to the relevant local authority or school. Our online appeal form is just for Barking and Dagenham schools. Do not rush your application. It is not a first come, first served process. All applications are processed after the closing date. Fill in all 6 preferences to increase your chances of being offered a school you would like. Include your local school. The schools on your form are your preferences. They cannot be your choices because we cannot guarantee everyone a place at any of the schools that they have listed. If everybody named the same school, we would not be able to increase the number of places there. Check your confirmation email for any errors. We process your application based on the information you have submitted. You can change and resubmit your application as many times as you wish before the closing date. We process the last version you submit. You must tell us if any of your or your child's details change. Make a note of the key dates you need to remember. On the 1st of September, the process begins and you can apply online. During September and October, secondary schools will hold open events for you to see for yourself what they can offer. Visit each school's website and watch the virtual tours that will be available at most of the schools. The deadline for submitting your application online is midnight on the 31st of October. Do not leave your application until this date and time, as errors can occur and there will be no one to assist you at the time. Applications received after this deadline are late. Late applicants are less likely to get a place at their preferred school. The 1st of March is National Offer Day, and we will send you an email that evening letting you know when your results are ready. Please wait until you have received this email before logging on to the e-admissions website for more details. The deadline for accepting places and submitting your appeal forms is in March. In May and July, appeals will be heard. During that time, secondary schools also write to parents offered places with information about transfer arrangements and induction days. What next? Download our e-booklet, Moving to Secondary School. What we need from you, what we do, and how we do it is explained in full within this booklet. All your questions are listed in a question and answer format in the booklet. You put your application at risk if you do not read this information. After watching this presentation and reading our e-booklet, please email or phone us if you have any questions. Our contact details are below. Remember, the closing date for your online application and all the information we ask for is the 31st of October. Please make sure your application is in on time. Late applicants are less likely to get a place at their preferred school.